and also knowledge. Just knowledge, and always trying to gain knowledge.
Keep learning, being a sponge for...
Yeah, and courses and taking courses and things like that.
Hi, welcome to the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast. I'm here today with Karen Paul from Keller Williams. Hi.
Hi.
So tell us about your story. How long have you been in real estate?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, actually. I've been in real estate for about 35 years.
Okay. And then tell us about how did you join real estate? How did you jump in?
It's an interesting story because I was working here in Toronto because originally I'm from Montreal. And when the Quebec had its riff and its situation in Montreal, I decided to move in the 70s. I decided to move to Toronto. However, that was an eye-opener because Toronto, as far as females working in businesses, was not very acceptable and they didn't pay very well.
Okay.
So I opened up my own business with my girlfriend, Jan Howard, and we then, it was I call it a body pushing business, but it's not a body pushing business, it's an unemployment agency on Avenue Road in Toronto. And it was quite interesting because we started hiring and pushing or getting people hired in regard to the computer industry, and that's when computers started coming out in that era, when they were huge, big machines in rooms that are air conditioned, if you recall. Anyway, it was quite interesting. So then I was dating someone, and he said, "I dare you to get your real estate license," and I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Well, your mother was in real estate and you would make a very good realtor." And I said, "Okay." So I went off and I got my real estate license, and I started with a company called Young and Biggin on Yonge Street above Eglinton. And in a matter of 4 or 5 weeks that I had joined the company, they went under. And so I thought, okay, so now my opportunity is to move out of Toronto and go into another area. And so I decided to join Century 21 in Burlington.
Okay.
And did a lot of door knocking in my jeans and my high boots and loved the business, loved it. But then Century 21, that office went under. So it was an omen. I thought, so is this a good thing or a bad thing? So I joined, at that time, it was called Royal Trust.
Okay.
And it was on the corner of Gore Street and Pearl. And it was an old white house, and I was there. And I walked up the stairs. I always remember this because the manager, Don Howlett, hired me, and he said, "You have a desk upstairs." And I went upstairs, and there was this guy sitting there, and he had his feet up on the desk, and he was smoking a cigar because
Old school,
you were allowed to smoke in the buildings at that time. And as I walked by him, he looked at me and he said, he said, "Another Susie lipstick."
Ouch.
and I went, "Oh." And I just passed him by and sat at my desk. And I never looked back. I've always been very, very successful, very, very successful.
How did you build your success being a female in a male world that was so difficult for female back then, I guess?
Very, very interesting. Yes, it was difficult as a female, but for some reason, as a real estate agent, a female real estate agent, it was easier and more acceptable. And I did a tremendous amount of door knocking at that time. Worked with builders, worked with first-time buyers, and I guess I just had the knack. And because I love people and because I love making money. And so it came easily to me, touch wood, you know,
Yes.
and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. It would have probably been different too, dealing with homeowners, being a female, dealing with a couple.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It was part and parcel of my life, and my children felt it because I would send them out delivering flyers.
Yeah.
So it was quite something those years.
Yeah. You're speaking about the door knocking, the builders. What's the one thing that made you the most successful then?
I think the one thing that made me most successful is my persistence.
Yes.
And my persistence and my professionalism. And I met this young gal, and we're no longer young anymore, but, in Mississauga, who came from Montreal, and she used to be a ballet dancer, and her name is Mary Montgomery, and I loved her to death because she taught me a lot. She said, the minute you walk out that door, it's showtime.
Yeah.
So every day I would dress like it was showtime. And I think that was the impression that people had of me, that I was extremely professional.
Yeah.
Extremely professional. So I chalk that up to a lot of my success, and also knowledge. Just knowledge, and always trying to gain knowledge.
Keep learning, being a sponge for...
Yeah. And courses and taking courses and things like that. But yeah.
Very good.
And you know, it's funny because a lot of agents think that the business will come to them through friends and family. Not so. No. So.
And then now, over 35 years later, extremely knowledgeable, extremely professional still. What's the one thing that you do every day to keep you successful?
I get up every morning.
Yes. Showtime.
And I do the same thing every morning as I get up, get dressed, and I'm on that computer because I'm self-taught with all the technology, because you've got to remember that through that 35 plus years, I've had to teach myself all the increments of technology and videos and social media. But so every morning I get up and get out and get to the office, and I'm there. And I make sure I do my calls. And I'm so lucky because now I remember in the younger days, we used to write everything in a day timer.
Yeah.
And I was adamant. I have my day timers from 35 years ago, and they were thick.
Nice.
And but now it's your phone.
That's everything.
I know. And if it's not on my phone, I go, why isn't it? But it's quite interesting, the change.
Do you still door knock?
No.
No.
My team does.
Yes,
I have a wonderful team, and we work very, very well together in regard to, door knocking and calling and things like that. And we get coached. We have a coach that coaches us from Toronto.
Okay.
Very good. So we get coached, and we're very, very, we're very successful in what we do. Yeah. So
even after all these years, you're still getting coached. That's a true testament to how open-minded you are to education.
Well, I think agents get into bad habits.
Yes. Everybody does.
Yeah, very bad habits. So what happens is you have to go back and refresh. And I love the refreshing. I took a course last night on the computer, actually. It's to do with luxury real estate, and it taught me 5 amazing points that I didn't know. Okay. So you see, the thing is that you have to keep learning. If you don't keep learning, you're not going to be successful.
Wow. Fantastic.
So good, yeah.
What else do you tell your agent on your team to help them grow and
to treat it as their own business?
Yes.
They have to realize that even though they're working on my team with me, not for me, with me.
Yes. Yeah.
That they have to treat it as their own business. and that it's going to grow like that. And so I have 3 people on my team, and one of them has been with me the longest, Colin, and he's been with me for 2 years or 3 years, and he's doing tremendously well. He's only 29.
Yeah.
And he has just grown as a salesperson, and he loves. We have a Monday morning meeting at 11 o'clock, and he sits there, and we have a lot of input, and we work collaboratively so that we understand each other, and we're all on the same page. You know. And it's not me, barking at them going, do this, do that, do that. I don't do that. I sit back and I look at their numbers and we talk about it and we say, okay, so how can we bring them up and how can I bring my numbers up?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm the rainmaker, but I still slack off a little bit from time to time, as everybody does. They get a little worn and torn.
Yeah.
And so let's go back again, But one of the things that is very important in that I see is that they have to love and have the passion for that business. They have to have that passion.
Yeah. It can't just be money, even though you have to love money, passion, what you do.
The money comes later.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The money is interesting because once you have that money, depending on how you spend it or you invest it, I would rather say invest.
Yes.
Then, you will have a much easier life going down the road.
Yeah.
And everybody asks me that big question. And you probably want to ask me, why? When are you going to retire?
Well, it was more like, what's in the future for you? But yes.
Yeah, that's a better question. I like that.
What does the future look
like?
I
love that. Because when I hear that retire word, I want to go.
Yeah, I never want to retire. So tell me what your future looks like.
Because I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he's a workaholic also, and I call myself a workaholic because I get up in the morning and I eat, breathe, and talk the business
until I go to bed. I'm the same.
So it's and I love it. So, but the thing is, I was talking to this gentleman the other day, and he does the same thing with his business. And he said, "Oh, Karen, I'm thinking of retiring." And I said, "So what are you going to do with yourself every day? Look at your wife and say good morning, dear, and not know what to do?" And he said, "I know." He said, I'm going to probably procrastinate for about 2 more years or 3 more years. But it's hard. It's very hard. Like, what's in the future for me? I think I have a couple of other businesses that I would really love to initiate and open.
Okay.
And they're actually computer based.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm waiting for the right time. And one of the things I did over the years, I bought domain names.
Yes. And
lots of them.
Okay.
And so a few of them are worth a lot of money.
Okay. Wow.
So I can always lead on that
if
I really wanted to, because I don't have a pension. No, I'm kidding. But I think in the future is going to be, and my team and I have discussed this, but in the future is going to be a lot, that I come into the office, I do my thing, and the team is running.
Yes, without you.
Yeah.
But you're still involved.
Yeah.
It's still your business.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But I have my desk there, so I know that I can get up in the morning and I can get dressed and I can go and, sit there and go, "Hi, everybody.
I'm here.
I'm going to make my calls."
Yes.
But I told them that I'll be around for a bit, and they know that.
That's fantastic.
But they, they love that because they come to me all the time for
with
questions and knowledge, to gain knowledge. Yes, So,
very cool.
Yeah.
That's an inspiration.
Yeah,
what would you say you'd be most grateful for in your career?
Oh, I'm most grateful for my health.
Yes.
For my activity, for my knowing that I should exercise every second or third day.
Yeah.
And not taking any pharmaceuticals or drugs.
Yeah.
And not drinking.
Drinking?
I don't drink. Anyway, but not, my health. My health is
important.
oh, my health, touch wood, And I mean, there are a lot of things in my life that I've done. I've kayaked all the big oceans of the world.
Wow.
I've been all around the world, and there are times when I could have lost my life, which I look back now and I go, wow, was I ever great?
Yes.
But no, my health is the most precious thing, and my youthful look.
Yeah. With your health and all this stuff, and keep working.
Yeah.
So.
And then gaining knowledge from all my clients. My clients have been absolutely amazing. And they are so loyal to me, and I think they understand that because I'm so knowledgeable, that's why they want me by their side as they buy or sell.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's very, very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this.
Thank you.
Where do we find you? What's your website, social media?
My website is www.karenpaul.com. Social media. Please follow us.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Twitter, I've got to think, Facebook and Instagram.
All under Karen Paul.
Under Karen Paul, KP and Associates.
Cool.
We're growing and growing constantly. We had the best year ever this coming year. 2019.
Yeah.
So we're just keep growing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
proud.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.